So today what we are going to do is it's a short presentation, quick and smart presentation, I would call it, because quick 30 minutes you will get to know the overview of what exactly DMIT is all about, and at the same time how we can use it to leverage to understand your child's unborn or unknown traits which are not known to you right now. So before we move on to the next slide, I wanted to ask you these questions. How well do we know our children? Do we know what are their innate qualities? Being a mom, sometimes I also struggled prior to DMIT. I struggled that what are the qualities of my child, how she learns, what is her preferred learning style, uh, does she what is her multiple intelligence graph. my, you know Prior to coming to this field of DMIT, I didn't even know what is multiple intelligence. So we will be going through these concepts today. Along with that, what is the learning communication character? What does that mean? That what is the effective way to communicate with your child? And DMIT is a smart tool which can help you discover, decode, and develop your child. So I always use 3 Ds, that discover your innate qualities of your child, decode them, and develop the child. What I can also say that if whenever you have questions, you can just ping me in, or at towards the end of the session, the floor will be open. Okay, moving on to the next slide, understanding your child's innate characteristics. Parents often brand their child that he or she is shy, or she is rebellious, or she is too much talkative, or she is timid, rather than understanding the curiosity and why, from where these things are coming. Just imagine our parents knew us or knew our learning or communication style, and I am sure we would have been a different person. So the same way, if we know effective or their effective way to communicate with our children by understanding their innate characteristics, it is definitely going to be a game changer. At the same time, um, uh, creating and developing an effective interactive method between us and our children, because when I'm sure parents will agree that when a child hits pre-teens or tweens, the communication gap starts increasing, and in teenage it becomes like a big roadblock in communicating with the children. So rather than that, use this tool and move on to the next level. I hope I'm not very fast. Mrinalini, is it okay?
Yeah, you're doing great.
All right, thank you. So uh, this guy, Dr. Roger Sperry, is a Nobel Prize winner. He came up with the theory that our left brain and right brain works in a different way, and left brain has different functionality, whereas right brain has different functionality. For example, if you see top 3 reasons, I will explain, and you can read through the rest. So knows the object's name. So here the object can be me. So knows the object's name. It's Deepti. What is the right brain knows object's function. So what Deepti is going to do. So Deepti is going to present today. Left brain uses logic. So what is the use of Deepti? So Deepti is going to share her information about DMIT, and uses feelings. Whether do you like Deepti, the way she dresses up, the way she talks, the way she presents her information. And left brain again is more of reality based. So again, it is the fact based. So the lighting is good or not, the speed of the speech is good or not, it processes that, whereas right brain processes the bigger picture. So whether this presentation is going to be helpful next 30 minutes, or these 30 minutes are going to be helpful for yourself or for your child, this is how our brain processes. Even though I have explained these functions in a separate way, these functions happen simultaneously. So it is so fast in nanoseconds. All these things, like whether it is practical or not, whether this presentation is creative or not, all these points are calculated and processed, and the impression is for any person or any object or any situation is formed in it's less than nanoseconds. Nano is like 10 to the power 9 minus 9. So like if that fast our brain processes this any situation or any person. So Dr. Sperry said that if we get to know your processes, we can work, and effectively we can increase that side, or left brain or right brain, that side functions. So once we identify that these are the issues, we can either we can give medication, which is psychiatry, or we can use psychology, which is like solution based through talking, or other way of like, for example, if a left brain, there are issues in left brain, for example maths and science, so we will suggest children to go for classes for abacus, or solve Rubik cubes, or solve puzzles. That sort of suggestions are given. And now moving on to the learning style. So predominantly every normal person learns through three different ways. It is also called as combined learning or effective learning. So we have the first style we call is kinesthetic learning, or the doers. These people learn through practical way of doing. So they are good in expressing their feelings through dance, or these people are mostly sports person, or for example, if a kinesthetic person has to be told that boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade, it would be best to show them using a thermometer, putting it in the water and show it like, huh, this is how 100 degrees centigrade comes. Second way is auditory learner. We call them the listeners. Their preferred way is to verbal communication. So I always say that auditory learners, the record button is always on. So if your child's predominant learning style is auditory learning, then even if they are sitting in the next room, they will be listening into everything what you are saying, and after a couple of days they will come and ask you questions like, why did you say like that? That is one of the ways of identifying how your child learns, what is their predominant learning style, practically as well. And third is the visual learning style. We call them the seers. So as in like, through visually seeing. So these people can pick out, I see practically, if you see, there are certain women who take pride in dressing up themselves. They will have matching shoes, matching accessories. They will take time. Whereas and even in their day in day out lifestyle also, they will say I see. Kinesthetic learners will say I understand, and the auditory learners will say, I can understand, I hear you, what you are saying. So these are the three major learning styles we have, and there are other learning style, but these are the what you call the major learning styles. And um, in psychology, they are the subsystems of these. So majority only three learning styles are there. And with DMIT, we can identify these three learning styles easily. Discovering the inborn talent and potential of your child. So how it is done? So imagine a child is a white light, and if you pass white light through a prism, the seven colors brilliantly show different shades, like from vibgyor, like from violet till red. And these seven colors are nothing but multiple intelligences of a person. So there are eight kind of intelligences. So there are eight kind of multiple intelligence everybody possess, and we are going to discuss those. But this theory was introduced by Dr. Howard Gardner, who is celebrated all around the globe, and he says it is not about how smart you are, it's all about how you are smart. That means that how you are smart means what is the graph of your multiple intelligence. And for your for visual learners, here it is the clue. So your left and right brain processes these kind of things at the same time. These intelligences are there. So, for example, your right thumb will be processing the self intelligence, self smart. Your I'm sure everybody knows that we have cross connection. Right side of your body is connected to the left side of the brain, and left side of your body is connected to the right side of the brain. So these intelligences, and this is how the overall brain is mapped out. So the self smart shows that your right thumb shows in the left side of the brain, shows how well you are, your leadership qualities are, how well you behave as a person in a team. At the same time, your right brain or left thumb shows that how good you are as a leader, as a leader of the pack. Whereas left brain shows your these fingers, or rather I will show you another page, this will be easier. So we have five different portions of the brain. The thumb processes your prefrontal cortex, which shows your leadership qualities and how good you are in people management or your interpersonal skills. Your index finger shows how good you are at processing spaces or spatial intelligence. At the same time, another index finger shows how good you are at logic, which is reasoning. Your middle fingers, which is parietal lobe, shows how good you are at kinesthetic intelligence, which includes your fine motor skills as well as large motor skills. Your ring finger shows your temporal lobe, which means how good you are at music and how learning of languages happens. And lastly, the powerhouse of the brain, which is occipital lobe, which is as small as the size of a pea, um, processes visualization and naturistic intelligence, which is biology in normal terms. And these are the three major patterns which are carved when a mother is pregnant between second and eighth month. The way the neurons are connected while the mother is pregnant, these patterns are formed. So your fingerprints never change, but the palm portion or other lines do change, but fingerprints of a person never change. And there are three major reasons for why a person has these set of fingerprints. First one, obviously, your hereditary. Second, which is physical well-being of the mother when she is present, when she is pregnant. And third one, and most important, is mental well-being of the mother. So we have seen a different set of fingerprints altogether when the mother was under immense amount of stress. And we found, so, after, as soon as I see those prints, I ask them whether you were stressed that time, and then the answer comes, usually comes yes, because it is usually certain fingerprints are not expected, so those sets are predominantly seen when the mother is pregnant. So between that is how DMIT is done. As I said, these three major patterns. If you see this, sorry, ulnar loop and radial loop are just a mirror image of each other, so we call them loops. Then we have whorls and we have arches. So there, these are the three major patterns or four major patterns, and there are further four other sub patterns of these. So total 16 patterns are there which we analyze, and depending on where this fingerprint pattern has come, on which fingerprint, as I shown you before, um, what you call, decides the predominant characteristics of a person. I hope it is clear. And this entire theory was proposed by Dr. Cummins. He is named as the father of dermatoglyphics, which is derma means skin. Um, Dermato means skin, gly is carving on the skin, and ix is study. So basically, dermatoglyphics is study of fingerprints. And in his entire lifespan, he had said he could easily identified that these people might have Alzheimer's eventually, might have schizophrenia, might have even have cancer. And then later on, he had prescribed medication using DMIT. He didn't call it dermatoglyphics then, but he used fingerprints as base for understanding why a person behaves in certain way. And he was MD, so even if he was professor, but his basic degree was in medicine. And coming out to the question why, because I always believe that you should ask two questions, why and how, for anything. So why DMIT understandings, sorry about this, understanding individuals differences. What does that mean? The actually the probability of having two set of same fingerprints is 1 in 67 billion, mind you. 67 billion, okay. Mind you, our current population of the world is around 9 billion. So if we multiply ourselves 7 times, then two people might have same set of fingerprints. I have seen fingerprints of twins, multiple twins, a couple of triplets, and we yeah, the traits might be similar, but the what you call numerical values for individual intelligences differ drastically. Then identifying learning style, as I mentioned before, three major learning style. If we know the child's predominant learning style, we tell them, for example, for an auditory learner, we say use the smartphone, record your learning, and there are special proven records of patterns, how to study and smartly study. Rather, I would re phrase it, how to smartly study and understand the subject properly, and definitely eventually get good marks. So there are we have identified and researched these patterns. So if we know the learning style, that helps big time. Career guidance, we help, DMIT can be used as a tool for career guidance, because once we know their skill sets, we can definitely map them to XYZ career. Enhancing communication, as I said before, just imagine our parents had knew our communication style, things would have been different. Once that is known, definitely the emotional intelligence between the parents and the emotional connect between the parents and the child increases multifold. Balancing right and left brain functions, as I mentioned before, that once we know the lapses, I always believe that we should work on both side, lapses as well as strengths. So when a person is formed, for first 21 years your brains develops, for first 7 year it is the fastest development of the brain happens. And 7 to 14, the acceleration of connection of the neurons goes low compared to the first phase, but still it is like, imagine we are creating a pot. First 7 years we create the base of a pot. Second 7 years, the middle portion of the pot is formed. So you can decide you want this curved this way or straighten up. The more exposure is given to the child. Thirdly, 14 to 21, again the connection of the neurons is little bit slower to the prior phase, but what you call, it, decides the opening of the pot. So even if we think that the child is a teenager, he won't listen. But if we persistently try, and with the logic, if we explain them that these are the ways you can benefit yourself and get the better marks or better overall personality, it definitely the opening of the pot till 21, you can develop the brain. It doesn't work, it doesn't mean that post 21 we do not learn new things. We do, but the what you call the hard wiring of the brain happens. We do learn things. So it is like this: we have these many strengths, and these are your weaknesses. Where I after the MIT, what happens is, what we are trying to do is bridge the gap. So minimizing the gap between your strength and weaknesses is our forte. So post 21, capitalize your strength, and under 21, bridge the gap, reduce the gap. And as I mentioned, we can definitely help in improving study habits. We in couple of schools where we had collaborated, we had done experiment that we had divided children according to the learning style, and classes were divided accordingly. And uh, previously there used to be 7 to 10 children who used to come in merit, but that year, first time when we had done the pilot project, instead of 7 or 10, 27 children had come in merit list. And after that, this became a practice that for the children who are auditory learners, more emphasis will be given on instructions. For visual learners, they will be shown videos, or they will be shown information through the learning whiteboards or blackboards. And for kinesthetic learners, practicals were done more. And lastly, personal development. I do get people who come to me for adults who come to me for mindset coaching and personal development as well. Then how DMIT is done. So first of all, we capture the fingerprints, understand if there are any issues which you are facing right now. Otherwise, we ask only three questions: name of the person, age of the person, and your phone number or email address, so that the report can be sent to you. Fingerprints are captured, then fingerprints are sent to the lab, or they come to me. Analysis is done, report is created or generated, and then the counseling or report reading session happens, which is between 1.5 to 2 hours. And post that, a couple of follow-ups if required. Parents request me, we do that, but at a minimal cost. So this is how the process goes. And whom it is for, anybody who is 9 months old till 99 years of age can do DMIT. The youngest person who for whom I have done DMIT is 1.5. Some parents do come for 6 month old baby. I have to tell them that you can wait and enjoy the infancy of a child till 1.5 or 2. Then and the oldest person who has done DMIT with me is 73 today. It's her birthday today. She was a teacher at a school, and when she did her DMIT, she was just about to retire. So she was, I believe, 64 or 65. She got her extension. So I just asked her that you seem to be very good at dance. I can see musical intelligence is high, and your large motor skills are high. And she says, how did you know? I said, these two are showing as one of your fortes. And she goes like, yes, I used to learn Bharatnatyam. And at the age of 67, can you believe, she had her Arangetram done, and I was invited and felicitated, saying that you had inspired me. So sometimes such stories, warm your heart, and you feel that, wow, DMIT can be used for this also. And to back it up, it has more than 200 years of research we have. It is based on genetics, so neuroscience, psychology, and dermatoglyphs. dermatoglyphics combined together forms DMIT. So it is all record through statistics only, and we always say the reports are between 80 to 95%. I cannot claim it is 100% true, saying because there are three reasons for whatever we are at the core, what you are, which is dermatoglyphics report will DMIT report will tell you. Second is the way you are, the environment in which you are brought up, and thirdly, the wider circle with whom you are connecting with. So first is at the core what kind of person you are, second is your family or close friends, and third is the wider circle, which is school, colleges, or your friends, or socially people whom you meet. And how it will help parents, as I said before, adopt appropriate teaching styles, achieve the equilibrium in child strengths and weaknesses. And if we so in short, if we know what identify what is the true talent of the child, we are making them pursue their passion and eventually making them happy and contented person. That's what we all parents aim for. I personally believe in, and these are the people who have endorsed us. Rucha came to me when she was in her early 20s, and now after working in different, what you call, as a translator in different MNCs. Now she has founded Flora Language Solutions, and she is a TEDx speaker. She initially thought she can't speak on a huge platform, but when we got to know that language is her forte, now she is a TEDx speaker, and she has Flora Language Solutions operates pan India. Then we have another youngster who came to me in her 20s, is Dr. Shweta Poddar, a dentist by profession, but now solely works in social media. So she is founder of a community, a Facebook community called Puneri Thaska. It has more than 35,000 women. Another TEDx speaker. Again, this girl thought that communication, verbal communication is not her forte, and when we discussed that why she thinks the way she thinks, she changed her thought processes, patterns, and this year both Rucha and Shweta were TEDx speaker, and they had personally invited me for their event. And lastly, this is the owner of a school with whom we have collaborated, one of the schools which we have collaborated. It is in MP, and which is central part of India. And we are working with them from last 8 years or so. Each and every child from this school, Triumphal Arch Academy, goes through DMIT, and they solely follow our suggestions. They are partners with Allen Academy, so we have got staggering results last year, and they are super happy with us. So these are just a couple of feedbacks which I have shared, and I am opening the floor for questions. Thank you.
That was great presentation, Deepti. I have no idea how this can go really far. I mean, parents can really leverage from this wonderful presentation, and I'm sure the parents that are here with us, I sure had a key takeaway. So, parents, I would love to have you to unmute yourself and bring your questions forward.
Yeah, Alia, unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that is there a confidentiality that has been maintained whenever we take the report?
Oh, definitely. That is the first thing. We swear as a psychologist, confidentiality is 100% guaranteed, until and unless like the highest level I can say that one of the families came to us as a family. They had given us fingerprints, and one of the grandmothers called us and called me and asked that, can you tell me what are the, what is the report of my grandson? I said, unfortunately, until and unless parents agree to for me to share it with anyone apart from them, then only I will be able to. So confidentiality is 100% guaranteed.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
I just want to mention here one thing before any parent comes up for a question. This is an exclusive on demand session for a closed group. So I'm very sure that if parents have anything in their mind, they can bring out their questions or any concerns they might have, or they can send their
Hi, ma'am.
queries
How are
on
you? This is Neetu.
info@. Yeah, please, need to go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, Neetu.
Ma'am, can you hear?
Yeah, I can.
Ma'am, further for me, no questions because you have cleared everything in the PowerPoint, the presentation. Will surely contact with you because same, I have also many confusion regarding my son also. I'm a bit confused. He's good in studies. He's good in this academics, the sports, but same. The conclusion is I'm a bit confused. So hopefully I will contact you further, maybe next year or next month, ma'am.
All right.
So
Next
I'm a
year
bit
happens in a
impressed
week.
also. Yeah, ma'am. Because I was bit more impressed with my friend, which like Ankita. I'm a good friend of her. So yeah, I she also told me everything about what you told me in PowerPoint. But surely, ma'am, I will contact you in January. For me also, for my husband and for my son. Surely, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, because it works wonders when you do as a family. What we did was initially Ankita. I know Ankita. She used to be my acquaintance, and she asked me, "What do you do?" And I simply said, rather than me explaining, let's do this as an exercise. And she was in India for some time, and I said, like, I will fast track your report. Also, she was ready to pay exclusive fees for that. And once she
Ma'am.
got to know her profile and her graph, she said that, let's partner out for with Generation Alpha for UAE. I said, like, why not spread your wings? So that's how I ended up in UAE. Me too.
Oh wow, that's nice, ma'am. Really nice.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Bye bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye. Any more questions?
Yeah, Nitu, I think the next year is not too far behind, so you can
Yeah, I know.
definitely get in touch with her. Okay,
Sure, sure. Will
uh,
surely.
yeah, so Deepti, I just a question just popped up in my mind, if I may ask.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Okay, so how, as a parent, should I channelize the observation that I will learn from this analysis on my child? Does this impact their life once they grow?
Can you repeat? Does this impact their life?
Once they grow, and basically, I want to ask that how should I channelize the observation that I will learn from this
See,
analysis on my child?
yeah, we will be giving you practical suggestions. I always say that the report should, as I mentioned, that only three questions will be asked: your name, the age of the child, so that age appropriate suggestions are given, and your email address or phone number, so that report can be sent to you. So after what we tell from the report is entire personality of a person. Okay, so what usually what happens, it maps 90 to 95% to the observation of the parents. Okay, and it is a two-way, it's a dialogue, it's not one-way process. So what we do is, towards the end of the report, we decide on at least three major points where parents will be actively working for the child. Again, I'm saying it is age appropriate, because for a 5-year old I will be giving you different suggestions than for a 15-year old or a 20-year-old who is pursuing his graduation. So that's why we have to see the age, and then age of the child or a person, and then go ahead with the suggestions. And top 3 usually we prioritize and ask them to work, and as short as 21 days you start seeing the results in that person. So it is nothing, there is nothing, it is a science, there is no mumbo jumbo in 21 days. Basically your cell is divided from one cell to two, it happens in 42 days. So for first 21 days, the information, I'm talking from engineer's perspective, an ex-engineer, so not from a biology person, so I will explain in a layman's term. So for example, this is one cell. The information from this cell, from the cell to when two cells are getting formed, for 21 days the information will be passed on to the new or baby cell. Okay, and from day 22nd the cell division start, and from on 42nd day two cells are from one. So that's why we start seeing the result in as short as 21 days. So that's why even these days life coaches and all say that it takes 21 days to create a new habit. That is the logic behind this.
Okay, okay, great. So, for our listeners, I'm dropping the email address where they can reach in case they do not have any questions for now, and they can reach us later, maybe.
Yes, and for bookings, you may contact Generation Alpha in UAE, and we have made arrangements for capturing the fingerprints also in UAE, and I will receive the fingerprints, and we can do online consultation as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Deepti, for this wonderful session.
Thank you so much,
I'm sure
Mrinalini.
it will help a lot of parents here. Thank you so much, Deepti. Have a great day, all of you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.